got a proper motion
So,
and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. All right, do we have any citizens' input tonight regarding issues for the
filled out the form regarding the, I understand there's a proposed subdivision near Isabel.
That's Isabel Drive? That's located inside the city of Dandridge. This is for Jefferson County.
Well, it's Jefferson County that the subdivision is being proposed.
We don't have anything in our records for that.
Well, that's why we're here. I mean, they're tearing out trees and doing something right now, and that's on the city agenda. And we were told to come here and let you hear our opinion.
Actually, what it is that is in, even if it's in the growth boundary, it will be the city of Dandridge that makes that decision. This board here will have no decision in that at all.
Okay, so we were told differently.
We have no jurisdiction there for Jefferson County.
Even though it's Jefferson County property?
Yeah, it's because it's in the growth boundary. There's a regional growth boundary for round towns, basically, and that is in the town of Dandridge's growth boundary. And so we do not have jurisdiction in that area.
Okay, but most of the people here are here, we were told that this is where we were supposed to come talk.
No, sir. No, because we won't take any kind of action at all on that, if that's the case. It'll all go through the Dandridge Regional Planning Commission.
No need to stay. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. Any others as far as the Board of Zoning Appeals? Okay. Being none, we'll proceed to the first item here. A front setback variance for a house to be constructed on Lot 2 of the James and John Carmichael property, Carmichael Road, White Pine, by Unique Building Construction and Doyle Whitmill. Do we have somebody representing them? Yes, ma'am. Can you come up, please? Okay. If you would just state your name so he would.
My name is Kathy Whitnell.
Okay.
Can I spell your last name?
Whitnell, W-H-I-T-M-I-L-L.
Okay, thank you.
this is the first road, here's Carmichael Road. So if you go back, it's 120 setback, it's all the way back here.
Yes.
Okay? Now, what else they have, they put a house back here, and pump back up here. Okay? This is exactly, the first perk code from the road is, right up on the book. I gotta have every one of these
To make it work.
to make it work. Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
What are you applying for? 2-bedroom or 3 on this?
Probably three.
3?
Whatever we can do.
Okay, probably get a 2, and if he did that, you'd have to go back to, they're right here, they got the building setback right there. Okay, right here, right there. I didn't have my glasses on when I drew that. I got time. So right here's your setback right there, okay?
All right.
So if we eliminate this at the house up here, they got these 2 perk codes, probably get a 2-bedroom right there.
So to get a 3-bedroom, they need that other area up there.
They need that other area, but, you know, they're gonna be setting, you know, house, how big is the house?
We haven't decided, whatever you
I
all
mean,
decide.
that house could be over 50 foot right here at the back, so the front would only be, you're only talking about 30 foot right here, like it here, even up here above this house. So my recommendation is to try to let them get the house right in here where this first perk hole is, and they'd be inside this. We do a site plan right here
Okay.
and see how many feet we get, and at least give them a 2-bedroom, and then set the house accordingly with the site plan.
Okay.
Okay?
So based on that, going right there, what is that? What is that?
If they did that, they'd be getting, and meet the setbacks on the property line, they could get like a 50 by 50
50 by 50
Yeah.
house.
If it
house.
was set back.
And they'd be setting back off the road right there about 80 feet.
Well, then, yeah, so basically what it would be is it's about an 86-foot variance is what it's gonna be, so, yeah, if it's 80 feet off the road, it's 168 back to the back setback line where it needs to be now. Okay, so basically, that's what we'd be given basically an 80-foot, about an 80-foot back. So the house would be set back off the road 80 feet.
That'd get your
With that setback and still maybe get a 3-bedroom in there maybe.
I don't think it can go back to that 100 foot,
Okay,
okay? It might be, less in here or whatever, but if we went to this point right here, the 100-foot setback, and then they just one, they'd still be like 80 foot off the road.
okay,
And make the side and side setbacks 50 foot.
right.
Okay, hold on
So
just a second.
basically that boils down to is that with it being 168 feet to the setback line down here, and we're just coming back to where it's 80 foot, I don't know how wide that is right there without doing it, but the thing is that, they would actually almost be I don't know if they'd be even with those other houses, but they would be right beside of them. That
And
are
are
already
you
existing
talking, are you
there.
saying 80 feet back from the front property line or from the edge of the road?
From the front property line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the road, the front property line. And, that could vary, I know that right now, it's hard to get people to go out and do site plans.
Right,
Right now, where everybody's busy, and that's something that, it's hard to get anybody to go out and, do a site plan for them, so we can already maybe have this taken care of and know exactly what we need to do. But, it's hard to, what I always recommend is start at the back, come forward, lay the system out, see what they got, and then we go from there. But we've not been able to get anybody to do a site plan.
okay.
So, it's no fault of hers, it's just timing right now, trying to get somebody to do things like that,
Okay.
But I'm positive with 2 Percos here, we can get her 2-bedroom if we use that. Now, how you wanna try to approve that variance or whatever, subject to we come back to the site plan or something, something of that nature. I know you don't like doing that, but,
Well-
she's kinda in catch-22 on this.
Yeah, I understand, because the other lot over here I looked at it's only 68 feet back to this one over here, and there's only a little bit of difference, but it's just because of the way that it skews out a little bit more. But she's right here, when they build this house, because there's a new house here on this lot, that basically, they're just gonna line up basically down the road, from that standpoint. So, like I say, if you look at the plat, which is what we talked about, if you look from the road all the way back to where the 100-foot setback, at the 100 foot where the setback starts, that's 168 feet. And so basically, Tom's saying that now that we need to go back to 80 feet, which would work for the house, okay? That's even past this one over here at 68. So if you went back 80 feet to start the house, then if they could actually get the house in there where it would be next to where the field line is and where the perk holes have been established for their field line. So if they don't, then they got to go all the way to the back part of the lot to make this work, and then put a pump back up this way.
And the driveway would probably interfere to some degree with,
It probably could. And this lot, if we were out there, it does have some topographical issues as far as going down and up and everything. So anyway, I think it's justified. The thing is that when this came in, the one thing you didn't mention is that typically we see this, you didn't tell us how much setback needed. And I don't know if you didn't
He's
know,
on the phone tomorrow.
okay. I'm sure if you didn't know how much it was gonna be or whatever, but once we saw this soils map, it sorta limits us to what we can give you. And basically, that recommendation would be, I guess, what, 80 feet?
Yes, that's my recommendation, Chairman.
Joel? Are you there? Okay, you said 80 feet setback? Okay. You want me, can I put him on speaker?
Sure.
Can you, you just want to take my phone? Sorry, back for talking.
Sir, what we've looked at is that based upon where the setback should be, where the perk holes are, and where your septic's going to be in there, about what we can do is give you, it would be an 80-foot setback instead of a 168-foot setback on this lot line right here. And hopefully, when you did that, then basically and built your house, would line up pretty close with the others on the road.
Yeah, would that be basically 30 feet off the road?
No, that's 80 feet off the road. That's
80 feet off?
80 feet off the
Okay.
road, yes,
The right of way, front right of way.
off the front right of way.
Okay, my drain fields are about 100 and, where's that map at picture here?
Yeah, we saw that, we had that here, we saw that. And that's how we came up with the 80 feet.
Okay, the drain field for lot 2 is the perk holes are probably 25 feet from the setback line.
Right, and the setback,
In front of, and then you use 25 feet in front of that, so it'd be 50 feet in front of that, whatever it is, 147. That's where the edge of my drain field would have to go. So,
we looked at that, yes. And that's how we came up with the 80 feet.
so I don't know. I'm trying to think about what you're saying there. Because what I'm saying is where the setback line is now, my drain field perk hole is about 25 feet on the other side of that setback mark.
We saw that, we know that. We got a map,
Okay.
a soils map here showing that, yes, sir.
Okay, and then 25 feet from that hole is where I can use my drain field from. So that puts the back of the house, the farthest point I can go back would be like 90, let's see, 50, 47. That'd be 3 more, so that'd be 97 feet off the road is all the farther I can go back. And I'm on top of my drain field.
Yeah, tell him, scale it out, he's gonna be, from the front of the road to where he'd start his septic system, he's gonna be about, 80 feet.
Okay, so we're gonna have to give him more than 80 then.
No, still work at one.
You said where
Yeah,
the,
I drew a map right there.
Tell him to give him some clarification. If you look at your map, you're eliminating the very first perk hole. And if you go back from it to that area right there, you're gonna be, the back of your house would be setting about 65 feet from the road.
so he's gotta have 6.
No, I got a 35 setback, a 30-foot setback, a 50-foot house, so my house would be sitting 80 feet from the road.
Yeah.
And that
I'm
gives
allowing
me
you
just
I'm allowing you a footprint of 50 by 50, okay? For a house footprint, a 50 by 50.
Okay.
And it'll meet your side setbacks. And once we do that, from the front of the property line to the front of your house, would be
Okay.
right at, what is that? 50, 60, 70, almost 80 feet. Right at 80 feet. And that gives you a 50 by 50 footprint.
Okay, if you measure off the road, I got about 90 feet to my, 92 feet to the edge of my drain
that's that's the
Yeah.
very first perk, we're eliminating one. And what we'll do, we'll do the site plan and see how many feet we get, and, you know, I'm positive we get you a 2-bedroom, and we'll see if we can do anything else,
Yeah.
because I found that some of this soil is not exactly what they classified.
We only had a two-bedroom perk, so,
Yes.
if you're eliminating a hole, we're under a 2-bedroom perk.
Now, I think we can get you 2-bedroom in there,
Okay,
okay?
okay, is that Tom I'm talking to?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, I thought that sounded like your voice, it took me a second to figure that out.
okay,
Alright, so we're gonna go 80 feet off the road with a 50 by 50. The house I was wanting to build was 28 by 50, so,
okay, then you should be in good
Yeah.
shape. Yeah, okay, all right.
alright, that's gonna basically put it behind other houses in the neighborhood though.
Well, yeah, a little bit,
To
but
line up with them.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right,
I'll make that recommendation, Chairman.
okay. So basically, we're gonna say is the variance is gonna be that instead of, whatever it was, the setback now will only be 80 feet off of the front road.
Front right of way.
Front right of way. So that's how we, if that's what you choose to do, that's how we would need to approach it, based upon what the way the lot's laid out. Okay. So any other discussion? Then I'll open the floor.
I make a motion to accept the 80-foot
Setback,
setback.
okay. I got a proper motion, do I have a second?
I'll say.
And a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Is there anything I need to do?
If you will come and see Stephanie at her office, she'll get you a letter for the variance on that, okay?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, just give me a little bit, I did interfere late, so.
Okay, maybe Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Can I go out this way?
Yes.
Sir.
All right, you ready to proceed? The next item is a front setback variance of 15 feet and a side setback variance of 5 feet for a house to be constructed on Lot 28 in Landover subdivision, Bedford Way, White Pine by Robert and Beverly Whitaker. Are they here?
You asked for Robert Whitaker?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm an old man with 2 hearing aids and I still don't hear very good. I brought some pictures so I could share with you what I'm trying to do. And sorry they're wrinkled. The first picture is the cul-de-sac. At the narrowest part, it's 82 feet wide. That very first picture. You don't need them?
We
You don't need these?
have them.
We're all right.
No, you can keep those. As long as we see, look at them, that's good.
You haven't seen them all.
No, not yet. No, we've got
Well,
your set. Yeah.
Okay,
well, we went out to the property today to look at it.
okay,
So we were there firsthand to see it.
okay. So you saw what I've got here.
Yes,
That's
yes.
fine. You saw my tape?
Yeah, I saw it laying out there.
Yeah, the orange tape is the building, the pink tape is the front porch.
No, we were talking about your measuring tape.
Oh, did I leave it out there?
Yeah, we almost brought it in and we
Well,
weren't
we were afraid, we didn't want somebody to think, we thought maybe you might come back to it, so we didn't want to mess with it, but it's
I
laying
left
out
my
there.
100-foot tape out there?
Yes, sir.
We weren't sure you didn't have it laid out for a reason, you know?
It wasn't blue, was it?
No, it's yellow.
I'm not new to the mountains. I was born in Whitesburg, Kentucky, Letcher County, just across from the Virginia border line. I'm probably 3 hours from where I was born. But I've been in Florida 54 years and I want to come home.
Okay.
Any questions?
Welcome.
Yes, sir. I mean, we walked the property and we were there as far as that goes, and I understand when you get to a certain point on the back, it's just straight off. Okay, but
Not quite, but close.
but pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the other side over here, as you go back, because it looks like there was like a trail or
Yes, sir.
something through there. But I don't understand because as you went back the trail, it looked like the land got a little bit flatter and
Not wide enough.
unless I was just, maybe it's because I couldn't find the back property line back there to make a determination how it was skewed or whatever.
The what, sir?
Well, as we walked back, I couldn't find the back property corner, so I was trying to orient myself on what was that. But I know as we went back on that trail back through there and everything else, I thought that you had room if you just went on back to build back there.
Well, the garage would be on that end. So there'd be no way to access the garage. I'd have to turn the house 180 degrees.
Okay, so,
The house is gonna be 30 by 70, but counting the garage.
okay. So it's gonna be 30 foot wide and 70, okay.
You can
All right,
pass this
so
around
now
real
then,
quick.
how is the house going, is the 70 feet going to face the front, this way at
The-
the road? Or is the 30 foot go long ways? I mean, how?
The 30 foot is wide. The 70 feet's going toward that trail you're talking about.
Okay, so the 70 feet, if I'm right, basically goes back like so, like that then. So that's 70 feet down the trail and 30 foot wide.
Well, this is the way that tape was laid out, exactly.
Okay, so that tape is
With 70 by 30.
okay, so the 70 runs that way then?
Yes, sir.
For the tape, okay. That's what I was trying to do, is how it was actually oriented on the lot.
So the narrow end of the house will be in the front.
Sir?
Is that?
No. No, that tape that was laying there, was laying in here like this right here. And he's saying that the 70 feet runs this way, and it's 30 feet this way. And what he's saying is that as he comes out here with that ridge right there, that he can't get to 70 feet
Right, I
in
got
there.
you.
Wait a minute, can I ask a question? Have we done a septic permit on this yet?
I'm sorry?
Have we done a septic permit on this lot yet?
No, I can't do it until I get this, whether it's approved, and I need that 5 feet for the septic.
Well, if we've not done a septic, how do you determine you have to have that for a septic? I mean, you know, I don't want to be a
The
bear.
perk test has already been
bear
done.
But, I mean,
Is that what you're asking, a
yeah,
perk
the
test?
perk test.
Oh, no, the perk tests are done.
So
They've
you're
been
using
done.
the perk, because we've not done a permit on it.
I haven't pulled a permit to do the septic because I want to make sure I can build a house before I build a septic.
Okay.
But we don't, but you don't know where the septic's going on the lot?
Not till I know about this.
Well, but I know, I guess that's the thing, sir.
It's gonna go out back on that trail.
Yep, but what you're missing is that depending on the soil, the septic is probably gonna dictate where the house can go,
Yeah.
not vice versa.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Well, yeah, except out there, perk tests were done. Each lot was approved for either a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom or 1.
Yes, sir. And then sometimes there's reserved areas on lots that are there for the septic system, and then you have to build a house around those areas based on the soil.
Well, I talked with the lady in the,
Tony? Did you talk to Tony in the environmental department?
yes.
Okay.
And, you know, she pointed out if I build on, I don't have that map with me, like on lot 24, you could put a 2-bedroom. On lot 23, you could put a 3-bedroom.
Because you do own lot 23 and 24 as
I
well.
own 3 lots there, 23,
But-
24, 28.
One thing a lot of people don't understand is that perk holes, you have a limited area to put a septic in. And it will dictate where that house is gonna sit. You're saying, I want a house 70 foot. Well, you might not be able to get just like the lady right here before you. You might only have to go back to a 50-foot house to get your primary reserve septic system in. And that's why we asked for a permit, but to go out and determine, when you stake your house, we go out and look where you've got the house staked. Then we look at the soil area that's been designated, which is perk holes in your case. we look at that and see if we can get what you're requesting, a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. And sometimes the house is in those perk holes areas and you're saying, no, they're not in it. But sometimes the contour dictates how that system's gonna go in, how many feet you can get in, and exactly what your setback on the house is gonna be. And so it's best to be able to do the permits first, and let us look at this area where the system's going and where you've got the house staked to make sure it's gonna work. So you'll know, you get a 15-foot setback and you're saying, well, I need a 20. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we were gonna put the house on the one lot and the drain field on another.
Oh, on another?
He owns
Oh,
three.
okay.
I own all three.
Okay, I was just looking at this right here, that you deal with just this one lot. If you do
No,
that,
no,
you're probably all right putting your house on that one lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was gonna put the house up on front and the drain field down on the
Yeah.
next lot, which, you probably know David Flynn.
Right,
David walked it with me. He said, this is what we wanna do, and I've had, Rodney Martin has
certainly.
done, I've tried to cover all my bases, because I'm flying back and forth from Florida to do these things, and, like I say, I
If
wanna
he's
come
gonna
home.
use an adjacent lot for the system, then what he does on that lot there is gonna be irrelevant.
Irrelevant for you, yeah, okay.
Okay. I didn't understand you using 2 lots.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. I hate to say this, I'm a certified building contractor in Florida and had my license since '86. That doesn't mean jack crap, okay? I'm glad to get away from that mess. Like I say, I was born in the mountains of Kentucky. I'm a good old boy. I'm a redneck from the word go.
Okay. Basically, here, I know you haven't been out there as far as that goes, but if you were sitting here and you looked at this lot, there's just an imaginary line that runs right through here. And when you get to that point, bang, it's off. It goes. It just, it's just covering the earth is all it boils down to. So there is topo issues on this side.
Both sides.
Both sides. So I guess the other thing is this. He wants to do a 70-foot house, and the only way he's gonna get a 70-foot house is if he comes up here, probably meet the setback. So we either let him do a 70-foot house and give him a 15-foot setback, or you're gonna have to make the house smaller and scrunch it on back there. Does that make sense? Because this line right here, unless he just cantilevers it over the hill, which that's not gonna work, and he needs to stay back enough from that as well, just for safety purposes. And then, for that, so that's what we're looking at.
May I say something, please?
Yes, sir.
When that cul-de-sac was put in, that's the biggest cul-de-sac I've ever seen. Second, you usually have 4 or 5 feet from the property line. They're 5 feet over on my property.
Oh, with the paving?
The pavement, yes, sir. Rodney Martin will back me up on that. He's the one that found it. I didn't find it, Rodney did.
Okay.
But if I may say this, on either side of me will never be a house. Because on the north side, there's what you saw, that great big mound.
Yes.
And on the other side, it's just the opposite. So I'll never have a neighbor. So my 5-foot setback doesn't really mean anything, because I will never be close to anybody. But it lets me have some a little bit of leeway to do what I want to do.
Okay.
I'm building that house to die there, if you want the truth. A long time from now.
Well, we hope you live a long time with it. Chairman, I don't, the variance might be questionable, but I don't think if it was granted, there'd be any damage done to any neighboring properties or
Thank you,
anything
sir.
like that.
I don't either. I've been out there.
That's-
I just
saw
couldn't
us,
figure out.
Where's
everything.
my tape?
We left it there and it's spread
Okay,
out.
I'll go get
You
it.
can't miss it.
I hung it up
No,
at a 20-foot
I'm going out there
tree.
tomorrow night.
Okay. All right, so does this make sense to you? I know you weren't there, and I sat there and I couldn't figure things out exactly on the ground and everything, but it makes sense to me now, because if I could have found this point, it would have made sense, but I couldn't find it right there, and, so I see what he's saying.
Property line.
Yeah, because what's happening is this ridge, as it comes down through here, it squeezes that lot, and, per se. And so, you know, he owns the lot below it and the one behind it. So he's got plenty of
Sure,
room there. The only thing is that when you get, even right here, when you come off the road, it's terrible. It's just terrible right there.
But I love it.
I know, but I'm just saying, okay.
You will have your privacy.
Thank you, that's what I'm looking for. You know what it's got on it? Hickory trees, shaggy bark hickory trees. I cooked with it for 60 years.
Okay, so you feel comfortable with
I'm
that?
comfortable with it. The topography is difficult to deal with, and of course, like Tom said, there may be some other parameters like the location of the septic system
Okay.
and possibly a reserve area, but like I also said, it would go on neighboring property, which might affect those.
Yeah, that's why I bought the 3 lots.
I got you.
Okay,
Make sure.
so basically, instead of the 30-foot setback, we would be granting him a variance just to do a 15-foot building setback. That's what you so choose. Any questions? All right, I'll open the floor and entertain any type of motion, or
I just want a 5 on the side too, though.
was this down here? Oh, that's right. Do you need a 5 on the this one lot?
Sir?
You said you need a 5-foot on the side setback?
Yeah, it's right there by that the telephone pole, but you know there'll never be a house anywhere near it.
Okay, I see now.
Right up here, I guess.
Oh, up here?
On the right side, if you're looking at the.
I've got a picture of it, it's the second picture. Second picture, see the white post, that's the property line. You can see the corner of the house.
Okay. Okay, I got you.
Okay.
All right, so you need a 5 up here.
He said the pavement's
Yeah.
5.
All right.
Mr. Terry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm not on this. But are you giving a 15 from the property line or 15 from pavement? Because he said
It'd
he's
be the
5.
right of way.
It has to be right, we can't go from the pavement.
That's what I was asking, because he had he
Yeah,
said there are 5 over on him on the pavement.
well, they could be, and, Matt, but he,
It shows as such on this survey that we have from Rodney Martin.
Sir?
I was just saying, it shows as John was asking and Terry was
okay.
agreeing to. on
So he
this
needs a 5
survey.
there and then a 15 on the front, on the side.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I make a motion we grant this variance.
All right, I got a proper motion
I'll second.
and a second. All right, any discussion before we vote? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
God bless you.
All right.
I know
Welcome
you
back
hate to see an
home.
old man cry, but I've been working my butt off for a year to get here. Thank you so much.
You're
We wish
welcome.
you the best.
God bless y'all.
Welcome back home.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
The next item is a rear variance setback 5 feet on the proposed storage building to be constructed at Air and Self-Storage located at 2595 Highway 2570 East by Georgia Investment Series 2004-2005. Mr. Daniel Wardlow.
Good evening. I provided a larger site plan for you all to take a look at if you'd like to distribute this.
What is your name?
Daniel Wardlaw.
Spell your last name, Daniel,
Wardlaw.
just like it sounds. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You can't take anything for granted.
I completely understand. First, I just want to start off and say I apologize for my voice. I recently lost it a few days ago and it's still trying to come back to me. So thank you for your patience.
Screaming for the balls. I guess.
Yes, sir.
We all do.
Couldn't help us.
I've got a little one here, but it tells me all I need to know, I think.
Well, I looked at this plat, we were up there earlier today and looking at it, and I think it's, are you looking for the variance between the proposed building and one of the existing buildings? Is that what you're asking for on the 5 feet?
So it's for the, just behind the yellow highlighted portion. We currently have a fence line that is not along the back property line. So for this variance, we're looking at removing the fence line, going back to the property line, and then re-adding the fence.
Okay, so, I'm confused.
I am too.
Because I see the property line here, and according to this plat, it's showing 20 feet to where the buildings are, proposed buildings are gonna be. Is that what you're, I mean, is this correct?
So yes, sir, we'd like to have a 20-foot drive for U-Hauls or whoever it is using that space to be able to safely drive on each aisle.
Back, behind the buildings here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Excuse me. No one will be using the 20 feet beyond where the buildings are. That's where a ditch is, and it's really unusable land.
right, which what, for drainage and everything? Okay.
Correct.
So those buildings are gonna be 20 feet off that line, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which is that not what's required already?
Oh, excuse me. I'm asking for a 5-foot variance because you see at the tightest point between building and building is 14.37 feet.
That was my question.
Yes,
That's-
sir.
That's where you need the variance, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
Okay,
correct.
that was my question right there, and I understood that. Because basically what it is the reason we have the 20 feet is that allows us to get our fire and emergency vehicles through there and everything else.
Right.
So, because on the other one up here, only about 18.95, and everything else in here is laid out 20, which is that it should be. So you're asking, that's what you're asking. I thought that was, when we were up there today and we finally figured it out, I thought that would be where the variance fell in, is right here.
Yes.
And then actually, you might need a little one up there to get that, because that should have been 20, it's about a foot, per se.
So now to answer your question from before, no one will be using the land beyond that. That will be the back of our property.
Okay. Right. Okay.
What is in this area? Is there anything in here in this territory?
No, sir, there's not. It's just a gravel space right now.
No boats or anything parked,
We do have vehicles parked there, RVs, boats, cars. Unfortunately, we're unable to build over that land because there are septic field lines from the mobile home.
okay, well, that explains that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So really, we're just looking at the separation between
Here,
buildings, correct, Chairman?
we are, and I've looked at this, and I didn't look at it earlier, I guess, because, but here's the thing is that if you, and I don't know if it makes a difference, because basically, you can't access the back side of this building as far as it goes, but you can access this part here because basically you have a 30-foot and a 20-foot to get into here. And then, so you would have an area to get to here, and then you would probably have an area to get right to here. So you would have just a little bit of area where there would be a foot difference right there that you might not be able to access. What do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You may not be able to drive completely beyond those buildings, but you can drive in here to the back, and you can access the others as far as that goes. And there's just gonna be one little section in there that's, like I said, it would be a foot difference.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. How come these buildings can't be located, let's say, in a different location up here where it looks like there would be plenty of room to access them? Let's say lined up kind of right in here like this.
I'm sorry,
Like
I'm not
that?
able to see your sheet because of the
Oh.
fold.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Road, that, yeah.
I mean, why can't this be further away or farther away from that, you know, like put this building, let's say, right here and this one,
Well, they have to
Like
move the
there.
building.
So those buildings
Are
are
those the
already
existing ones?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
those are
well, excuse
existing. The
me,
only
I'm
thing in the
sorry.
yellow is what's proposed.
Okay,
Correct.
Yes.
I got you.
And like I say, the distance here is about a foot off what it should be. And then here, but I have looked at, this is 30 foot here, 20 foot here. So you could actually, you could make it into this area right here if you had to.
Mm-hmm. And this area is out of bounds because of the septic
No, but
system.
you could still drive through it to get back there probably
Yeah, I
to where
got
you
you.
need to
Yeah,
go.
no buildings.
So that would be the key right there. I'm just looking for access, is what I'm looking for as we come in. And I've got 20 foot all the way down this side. I got 20 foot between these buildings to get in here to this area right in here. Okay, if that's where the trucks need to be. I know they can get down to right here, as far as goes. The key would be is that if they needed to squeeze through here. I don't know if that would ever be the case. And the other thing is that this was basically a foot off. In other words, it should have been 20 and it's 18.95. I'm not sure that a foot there is going to make it, would make a difference. The key would be this, in whether or not we think that they can get access to that with an emergency vehicle right there.
So I would like to state that the drawing is with the current law. So meeting the 20-foot setback law, what I'm asking for, the 5-foot variance, would increase that 18 to 24, and then the 14 to 19.37.
Well, actually what you're doing is that you're asking for the 5-foot variance because then that gives you about 20 feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in other words, this distance is still going to be 14.37. Only thing we're allowing you to do is that we're allowing you to have the 14.37 instead of the 20. That's sort of the variance. Does that make sense to you? I mean, because that's what you,
He's wanting to move the building back there.
You want to move the building back.
Correct.
oh, he wants to, this building.
Correct. I want to move the building because that's not built yet. It's still in the pre-planning phase.
Oh, this one here?
That one does exist.
Okay, and so here's the new one you're going to build.
Yes, sir.
Right. Well, according to this, from the corner here, it's 14.37 feet back to where the front of this new building is going to be.
Correct.
Okay, and it should be 20.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm saying. Basically, because it should be 20, all right, we're going to let you have the variance to be that the distance is only going to be 14.37 feet.
Oh, it's going to end up 19. The planes are built to the current standards,
Yeah, he did these
The plans.
before the 5 foot.
Yeah.
before
He
the
wants
5
to
foot.
move
So
the
with-
building back towards the
Moving
fence
back
and
five
pavers.
Everything will move back 5 foot.
Towards the drainage ditch.
Correct.
This right here will move back 5 feet,
Yes, sir.
which means you won't have 20 foot on the back.
Right.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was totally confused on that deal. I would, so this distance here is based upon it already being moved back?
No.
No, it's not. Okay. Oh, okay, I would have, I could have almost gone with it, with that, but now they're moving back to 5 feet. The only thing I was looking at was I had one little section right there that I was having to work with that I felt like it might be out of compliance, but now then you're wanting it 5 more feet back.
Yes, sir.
Because that's why I asked you early on where if, with the 20, where it's showing the 20 feet back there, if that's what you were gonna have. But what you're saying is you don't wanna have the 20 feet, you want it to be 15 feet.
Yes, sir. That's correct. I really only need it for that one section where it is 14.37 feet.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
So this up here is okay, but here, from here, so what you're asking for then is that where this is 14.37, you would move this section right here, whatever that is right there, back 5 feet and make that work.
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
I do, and this would be 19.37, I
Okay,
guess.
I guess I was on the wrong page. I was thinking,
Maybe you just want to do this section back, from
Yeah.
here back,
Yeah.
and offset there.
Are you just gonna sort of skew the buildings, or are you gonna do the whole, just come back the whole way?
I'll come back the whole way if you'll allow it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure these people right here won't care.
I'm gonna rise up and check.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won't object. And you do have that, still have that drainage ditch in there that sort of separates
Correct.
through there.
Yes.
Excuse me, Chairman, I'm hesitant to recommend for a variance because the property is used. This is more of a preference to add additional storage, but the property is used in a reasonable manner, and as you know, variances are designed to prevent an administrative taking of property due to zoning regulations. I will admit, though, that probably 5 foot on the back probably wouldn't do great damage to neighboring properties or anything, given the design and situation.
Okay. Questions? Does everybody understand what he wants? Why? Okay. All right, being no questions, I'll entertain a
That
motion.
still leaves plenty of room for the drainage ditch.
Yeah, he
If
can't,
you move back just 5 feet there.
yeah, because it's a concrete type thing, so he can't build,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Are we talking about the whole yellow section moved back, or just this?
Yeah, or just
last
that
80
one section.
This last 80 or 100 feet right
I
here?
just need the one section, but if you want to give the whole thing, then
Okay.
it could be moved back.
So if we were to come, get in this area right here, and we gave you the 5 feet, then that would get you the distance that you need right there.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So then that would give us the distance we need right there. All right.
Variances are supposed to be granted based on the characteristics of the property, which would prevent them from being used in a reasonable manner. I think we've discussed that before.
Yep.
And I don't see any real issues with the property. This is more of a preference than an issue with the property.
So they could chop off 100 feet right here and still be
They'd be in compliance,
in compliance.
yeah.
Is there another fire hydrant besides?
No, we looked today. There's gonna be though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I make a motion to 2 to 9.
Okay, I got a proper motion to deny.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a second. Now then, discussion. Any more?
May I ask what you need the land back there for?
It's not that, it's that whenever we grant a variance, typically there's only certain reasons that we can grant a variance.
According to state law.
Yeah, state law. This is more of a preference for you, okay, from that standpoint. It's not really putting you in a hardship, because this is just, from that standpoint, because you can still do the buildings, you may have to split them up or whatever, but you can still get them in there. And so, if we set a precedent here of just granting a variance for a preference without any kind of topographical issues, even though there is the drainage ditch and everything in the back, you're still coming back that far, but you have to stay off that line anyway, for that distance. So that's where it comes into play.
Okay.
Right there. You know, to give a variance, it's typically either a hardship or topography or one of those things here. in this case, it's really just a preference for you on that.
And the ones we granted earlier, they were based on topographic issues with the property and along with the need to accommodate health department, that sort of thing, direct issues with the property.
Now, with this variance, it wouldn't just be benefiting us, we would be benefiting the residents of the Jefferson County community, because they would be the ones actually using that space. So we're providing a service for them that they could then enjoy and use to their life.
We understand that. We have to come across that quite often as far as that goes. But in this case here, it's not really, it's not you as the owner, it's not the county or anybody else. It's for this particular piece of property. If a variance is granted, it goes with this property forever, okay, from that standpoint. So that's the thing we look at. It's not you personally, it's not the business or anything else like that. We're just looking at it as if it's a generic type of piece of property in the county, and basically that's what you're falling under.
Is it warranted and justified?
Yeah.
Due to the characteristics of the property.
Okay, all right, back. I have a proper motion in a second. Is there any other discussion amongst these members? All right, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thanks, sir. That being the last item for the BZA, I would ask for a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Got a proper motion